Hi, this is Lorraine, and I've been guided to create another video. If you'll give me a minute to clear, center, and balance my energy, we'll get started. In one of the videos I did last week, I discussed the DNA soul bond, and I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit because it'll segue well into the next topic. But I have heard through different sources or different avenues online where people have speculated that we would get younger, we would look younger, we would start to appear younger as we go through this process that we're going through, that we would be more youthful. And to me, that felt a little off-putting. And although in some ways I felt that to be true also, so it's not something I commented on because I feel there's some truth to that. But the reason why I feel like I couldn't comment on it because I didn't know the pathway. I wasn't sure what the pathway was to that shift. And so as I was talking about the DNA and the soul bond, or how DNA and the soul work together, that information started coming in. So I feel very strongly that as we go through this process of healing, whether it be through that technology that's coming in, that through Atlas brought to this planet, to this world, to help us transition by clearing the air, the land, all the parts of this world that have been toxified, whether it's through that healing, whether it's through the healing of Mother Earth, whether it's through our own healing, and or a combination of all those things. I feel like as we go through our own personal healing and we lighten, our energy field lightens up, that will facilitate the process of this shift in our appearance. And I think I'm going to read what I wrote because I think that's the most efficient information. So as we heal our energy field, it lightens. That lightening within the energy field can be perceived as youthful to the eye, or it's processed as youthful by the observer. And so as our energy field shifts and heals, there is a lightening that happens. And however you want to perceive that lightening, that lightening in the energy field, less density in the energy field, begins to reflect or demonstrate or present us, me, you, or anybody else, as youthful, or as the person who's observing me, you, or somebody else, as they heal in their process. They perceive the lightness, they see the lightness, and they perceive it as youthful. I'm struggling a little bit with this because it seems a little bit, it's uncomfortable for me to talk about, but I feel like we are going through such a profound change right now that it's important to set benchmarks, maybe, or milestones in what we will be experiencing, so we can start acknowledging those benchmarks or landmarks, okay, that show us that this change is coming, that it is happening, that we are in the middle of it. And I feel like this authentic youthfulness that the soul will tap into and that will reinvigorate the soul will first start to be reflected in our physical being. And with that, the next very strong thing that came in was the ecosystem. So I did also touched on that a little bit in one of the videos I did last week, the ecosystem. There is an ecosystem on this world, and Earth and humanity are part of this ecosystem, and we are symbiotic. So just like the soul and DNA are symbiotic upon conception, they are merged, they come together, and they work together to help me formulate my being, my existence, my path, my purpose, what I'm here to do. The same way that DNA and that soul are working together, so does Earth and humanity. Earth and humanity are symbiotic. They work together and they need each other. The same with all the other flora, fauna, and life on this world. It all creates an ecosystem that works together to support life. Additionally, humans have their own ecosystem. It consists of the mind, the body, and the spirit. The mind, the body, and the spirit must be aligned and in balance to be healthy and support this ecosystem. The same with Mother Earth. Mother Earth's mind, body, and spirit must be in balance and aligned to support this ecosystem. When Mother Earth and humanity are aligned, the ecosystem is healthy and vibrant, and it supports this life, and it creates a healthy, viable civilization where everyone is valued, honored, and useful, and also youthful. Also, I believe I touched on the soul versus consciousness in one of the videos I did last week, or I alluded to it. And this is also very important when we talk about mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and soul. It may seem a little bit challenging to separate consciousness from the soul, but I did receive a very clear message on the difference. And so consciousness is that part of ourself that is divine. It is a direct piece of the divine consciousness that's unfiltered and clear. Unfiltered, clear, and balanced. It is that part of us. It could be considered the higher self. I consider it my direct connection to the divine, that direct connection to the piece of myself that has access to all knowledge, all wisdom, all information. That part of myself that's divine. But it took me a few steps to get to that place of understanding. But you can perceive it as the higher self. You can perceive it however you'd like, but the information that came in was that the consciousness is the direct, whole, unified one piece of me that is divine. My access to 100% divine consciousness, unified, whole, and one. The soul is the part of the divine consciousness that was prepared and encoded with the necessary information from that divine consciousness to execute this experience here on this world, in this existence. Okay, so the soul is Lorene. The soul is the fractal, the piece of the divine consciousness that was encoded with the necessary information so that I, Lorene, could execute this experience here on this world, in this universe. The consciousness has access to all things. The soul identifies as Lorene. Okay? That's the simplest way to differentiate. And so the final thought I'll leave you with in this video is a very strong and profound message that I got about, I can't even say how many years ago, maybe 2019, 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And I was asking, who am I? What am I? What am I here for? It was a very difficult time during my awakening. I'm still awakening. I'll be awakening till the day I die, to be honest. But it was just a really tumultuous time where there was a lot of information coming in and a lot of pressure. I felt a lot of pressure. Mind, body, and spirit, emotionally, physically, energetically. I just felt overwhelmed. And so when I asked that message, I'm just going to read to you what I wrote to this week as I was thinking about that. This soul identifies as Lorene, although a previous message I received was that my divine root is not identified as a name or a word, not by something that could be said, heard, or felt, but something along the lines of an idea that moves like water or flow, unable to be uttered or pigeonholed, flowing and ever-changing. That's it. I just always want to encourage you to tap into your intuition and ask yourselves the questions that are most important to you and listen for the answers. That's your best guidance to help you through some of these challenging and tumultuous times. Everything you need lies within. But I'm always available to help whenever I can. Thank you.